Hi everyone, it's Emilia here. Welcome to my channel. I invite you today to create with me a boho style card. For this card I'm using the paper collection from P13. It is called Always and Forever and it has lots of beautiful elements which you can cut out. It is in pretty mute colors, browns, dusky pink, like sage green. I just love the color combination here. And a part of the papers I will also use tags from the same collection. So I have chosen 3 papers to start with. The darker brown will be my first layer, then the white paper. It has some pattern which is maybe not very visible here, and I will also use the green frame. That will be my third layer, and the composition actually will be positioned on that frame. So I'm going to cut out the frame. I will not be cutting it inside, so I'm keeping that inside. It's not completely white, it has some pattern as well inside the frame, so I will keep it as the whole piece. Other than that, I will use some die cut leaves, handmade flowers. I've got those tags I mentioned that are from the same collection. I have a piece of lace and a piece of cheesecloth that was colored with, I think, peeled paint distress ink. This is left over from another project, but I'm going to use it today. And later I'm going to add few sequins and sisal, which is not shown here. My card is 11 by 19 centimeters. It is not a standard size, I just like that size. I have a lot of questions about the card size. This is the size that I like, that it's wider than DL card and shorter than DL card. It is easier for me to create a composition on this size, so this is up to you what card size you will create. My first layer is always about 4 or 5 millimeters smaller than the card base, and then the second layer is always 1 centimeter smaller than the first layer. I hope that makes sense. The first layer I have attached with double-sided tape, and the second layer, for the second layer I'm using just a piece of cardboard to add dimension between the layers. And the cardboard is much smaller than the layer, so it's not from side to side, because I like to have that possibility to add something between the layers later if I want to. For example, if I wanted to create a lovely border with lace or anything, I like to be able to do it. So I always add the cardboard smaller than my elements. After attaching the frame, I'm going to add those little flags tags on the bottom of the frame, and I'm cutting them smaller, and I will keep those offcuts because I can always use it later. Those tags are double-sided, they have a brown on the bottom side, so you will see that later I will use one of those offcuts to add my sentiment on. To add an interesting detail and the texture, I'm going to place a piece of lace on top of that frame, coming from the top to the flags. I have to make it slightly shorter, and then I will stretch it to damage it, you could say, so it's not so straight, not so perfect, especially at the edges. And then I will stick it on and then create the composition on top of that. So I planned to have that bigger round tag on the top. I will add it with double-sided foam pads, and then the smaller one with the camera on the bottom, but between those 2 tags I'm planning to add a flower, which also will be underneath the macrame element. I mean, it's a dream catcher, I think. Yes, underneath that top element, which will be my main focus on the card. So I will add a small piece of cheesecloth that underneath the flower, again to add a texture. I like lots of different texture on my cards. If you watch my videos, you know that I always choose elements with not only paper, you know, I like fabric, twine, anything natural that I can add to the card. I always look for these elements as they really make the cards unique and one of a kind. So I will create another very small composition on the other side of the tag, again underneath that big element, and then I will stick the element on. For that I will use 2 layers of double-sided foam pads. Aha, but between the sticking on the macrame, I'm adding sisal or sisal, not sure how to pronounce it, and then the biggest element goes on the card. On the left hand side I also want to add the last flower with very small leaves. I don't remember now what was that die name, but I will try to look for it. I really like that die cut element. It has very tiny leaves and branches. There is a bird as well in that element, but I usually get rid of the bird and I only use the leaves. And again, to add even more texture, I decided to place a small twine bow underneath my flower. I left quite a lot of space on the round tag on the top of the card. It is because I wanted to place my sentiment there, and here I have got never give up sentiment, which I'm going to adhere to the leftover of a brown tag, and then I will use a foam pad to place it on that brown round tag on the top of that macrame piece. And this will be it for my composition. I am going to add few sequins here and there, and also off the camera I added very small amount of glitter in the centers of the flowers, and then I will splat the card with white acrylic paint mixed with water, and this will be it. I must say I just love this card. It has beautiful colors and I love how all those elements work really well together. So I hope I will inspire you to create something similar. You can always choose different paper collections, and there is a lot of papers that will have similar pictures and images. So I hope you will be inspired by the layering and texture of my card. I want to thank you very, very much for all comments you leave underneath my videos. I will try to link as many products as I can in the description box. Thank you very, very much. Have a lovely creative day. Bye bye!